Black Ops 7 has been out for a few months now, and as I do every year, I went for the multiplayer mastery camo. I did this all live on my Twitch, and during my grind, I dealt with all the weapons and maps from the game's launch, and I want to give my opinion on whether or not the game is worth it. There's been a lot of discourse about Black Ops 7 over the past few months. With games getting more expensive and the general cost of living keeps going up, we're constantly having to pick and choose what we'll spend our money on. It can be really hard to decide on which games to buy nowadays, especially with so many FPS options on the market and with so many various opinions surrounding the newer generation of COD games. Hopefully in this video I can get you closer to deciding whether or not BO7 is right for you. Just a little disclaimer before we start the video. All the weapons and maps I'm talking about are going to be the launch content maps and weapons, not anything that was added from Season 1 to Season 1 Reloaded. All of that I have not touched or played on, so just be aware of that. Black Ops 7 has brought a few changes this year to the gameplay. I think the biggest and most widely talked about is the open playlist matchmaking. Open playlist finds matches for players where skill is minimally considered. Take this with a grain of salt as someone who isn't the best or even close to being an amazing COD player. I didn't really feel a change in my lobbies. Some matches were sweaty, some weren't. It just felt like the same thing as normal SBMM. But some people have sworn that they've seen a difference in their lobbies, so take that as you will. Another change that they did was the removal of tag sprint. They removed tag sprinting and now only normal sprint is the default. This change mainly affects whether you prefer tag sprint or not, which at least in my opinion, I prefer just the normal sprint. Don't get me wrong, tag sprint animation and movement feels great, but I never saw any real point and just felt like it added a complexity to the movement. For those that do love tag sprint, don't be discouraged. They still have tag sprint, but only as a perk, which is a major downside in my opinion, because now you have to sacrifice a perk slot for tag sprint. The last big gameplay change that they added is wall jumping. I'm going to be honest, when I first saw wall jumping was going to be added into the game, I didn't think I would enjoy it or even use it at all, but I actually do enjoy the feature a lot. While I don't use wall jumping all the time, I do think it adds a little bit more depth into fights and even map design. It can help you jump to areas that you normally wouldn't be able to reach, and it even helps you reposition into gunfights. Regardless of whatever you use it for, it's nice to have another mechanic besides your typical tag sprint or slide canceling that you see in a lot of modern day CODs. With the launch of BO7, we got 18 multiplayer maps, 3 of those maps being remastered, such as Raid, Hijacked, and Express, and 2 maps being the larger scale skirmish maps, which I don't really play on, nor do I really care about as much. As of right now, they've added more maps from Season 1 and Season 1 Reloaded, but like I said earlier in the video, I won't be talking about any of these maps. All the maps follow a small to medium sized layout with the 3-lane concept in mind. 3-lane has always been in the game and considered the golden standard of map design for COD maps, and while I think they can be good sometimes, they do have its problems with enforcing camping and feeling really repetitive over time. Which I think in this game, it's not really a problem at all. I mean, you still get the occasional camper or the people proning with a shotgun, but my overall experience playing on these maps has been great. Having the map small encourages faster engagements and usually forces players to be constantly moving, making matches never feel stale or slow. Even if the new maps are not your style, having the iconic maps like Raid, Express, and Hijacked are nice to see in this game. And with more BO2 maps being remastered for later seasons, I think BO7 has a lot of amazing maps compared to previous titles like BO6 and MW3. Weapons this year feel great, nothing too strong or nothing too weak. Treyarch kept most of the weapons feeling balanced and fair, making the multiplayer experience pretty enjoyable. Treyarch did make some changes to the perk system this year, where now you have the ability to mix perks from the Enforcer, Recon, and Strategist perk classes to get hybrid combat specialties. Having the ability to mix perks from different classes and still being able to get combat specialties makes it easier for players to run specific perks that they want without losing out on that specialty bonus. In BO6, you cannot mix perks from different classes and still get that bonus like you do in BO7. While not a huge change, I do think it's a change that allows for loadouts to have more diversity. It allows players to use the perks that they want to use without having to feel at a disadvantage. I do also want to note that they did add in something called overclocking. Basically meaning you can essentially add in additional effects to things such as your equipment or even score streaks. Again, these aren't groundbreaking changes, but I think it gives a benefit to the types of equipment and score streaks that you like to use in game. For example, whenever I play COD, I usually run counter UAVs, which can have an overclock of increased bullet resistance and will use a flare to counter the first lock on missile. Basically meaning that your counter UAVs aren't going to get blown out the sky off the first missile lock. In order to get this counter UAV overclock, I would have to use the counter UAV over time, which will level it up. These levels will allow me to use the overclocks on that specific score streak or equipment. And in my opinion, I find this very rewarding, and it makes me want to go and use every type of equipment or score streak in the game in order to lock all their overclocks. Overall, I feel like overclocks feel rewarding and adds a level of progression into the game besides masteries. If you hate the way modern COD games feel or simply just don't like generic COD gameplay, this game isn't for you. It doesn't hold the same charm as the old games do, and I don't think it has to have that charm. It doesn't try to be something it's not, but it's fun. If you're someone like me who enjoyed BO6 or MW3, I encourage you to try out this game. It's been a lot of fun playing with my girlfriend and friends, and I genuinely think it's a step up from the previous title of BO6. If you made it to this part of the video, I just want to say thank you. This is the first video I've ever tried editing, and it means a lot that you watched it all. I'm going to be working on more videos for this channel. I have a Resident Evil 2 video that I'm working on right now, so be on the lookout for that. And please subscribe so you can keep up with all the videos that I post on this channel. Also, if you could, check out my Twitch channel. I'm going to be playing Dark Souls 1 for the first time, so it's going to be a lot of fun. My Twitch is Kutchup with 2 P's. And thanks again for watching the video. I really do appreciate it, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.